on request of Jord, we're going to watch this video about the 2020 Corvette C8. I think this car came out a little while ago, right? I mean, we've been racing it in iRacing for a little while now. But we are going to take a look at it. I don't know how much this costs in the UK. I'm sure it's a lot. But we will...
God, look at this.
We'll take a look at Car Wow. I do like Matt's...
It really is.
I don't like the fact that Matt spells his name with one T, but I'll let him off. He's a nice guy.
Chevrolet
I like his videos.
Corvette Stingray, and it's a little bit like... Rock and roll, come on.
Is it rock and roll? I'm not sure it is rock and roll. It's certainly plastic.
Chevrolet Corvette was
I'll say that.
in the 1950s. They're both as American as apple pie. Anyway, so this Corvette is in its 8th generation, and for the first time ever,
nice.
I
do like the look of it.
They've moved the engine from the front to the middle, so it's like a proper
mid-engine
supercar.
now.
It doesn't have a supercar price though. In the US of A, it costs $62,000, which works out to less than £50,000.
$62,000. I don't know how that corresponds in America to the prices of other big cars, to be honest. 50,000 over here, though. I mean, you start. I mean, a Golf R would cost you 40 grand, wouldn't it?
It's cheaper to buy than a Mercedes A45S for a mid-engine supercar. God bless America. Unfortunately, we can't get them in the UK. They'll probably come in a year or two. Until then, though, you can actually get them in the UK.
You'd import it.
If you visit a dealership called Clive Sutton, they're the people that have lent us this car. And if you follow the link in the description, you can go check out their website.
132,000. So, because it's not available in the UK, you have to pay a premium on import. And then it becomes 132,000 if you want it in the UK. Why would you buy? You're overpaying by 2/3 for what it's worth? Anyone who does that just has to be mad, surely.
Looking forward to reviewing this. Let's start off this video by talking about the design. And the one thing that I don't like about the look of this car, there's only one.
I don't like the wing, though.
The Stingray badge on the back. Just seems a bit tacky. The rest of it I love, though. Especially the fact that...
That's the only tacky part about this car. I'm not sure about that.
You can peer through that screen and see the big V8. I like the shape of this rear screen, actually, and the fact you've got vents there to help cool the engine.
Very plastic, though, isn't it?
Spoiler's good. Back end's really smart. It looks a little bit like a transformer to me. The shape of the tail lights, which are LEDs, by the way, it's got that kind of transformer look, hasn't it? Am I the only one that thinks that? Let me know in the comments below. Also, everything is real. But these vents, they do vent things. They're vents, they're real. There's ventage down there.
That vent actually moved when he touched it with his finger.
Real. The Germans need to take note. Mercedes, Audi, and sometimes BMW. Oh my God, look at the shape of this car. These strong creases, the wide wheel arches. You've got 20s at the back, 19-inch alloys at the front.
I'm amazed the wheels aren't plastic, to be honest.
Especially with this huge vent here on the side. Obviously feeding air into that mid-mounted engine. Yet again, no fakery. So this model is the coupe, but you can actually flip out the roof panels, and you've got two choices for the roof panels. This is the carbon fibre panel. You can also get a transparent one, which I go for, so you can see the sky. Moving to the front, the whole kind of angular, aggressive theme continues. Got LED headlights. There's cool creases in the bonnet. Angles everywhere. And yet again, more vents that are real. I'm just not used to this, you know. Thank you, America. Do you know what? While this car looks like a transformer from the back, from this angle, I'm now seeing a Ferrari 360 that's been drawn with a ruler. Can you see that?
It does look a bit Ferrari-esque.
Anyway, let's check it out from the inside. I love the look of it. You can get 12 different paint colours, but I really like this red. Nope. Remember, Matt? It's a USA car, so it's left-hand drive. Got to get in on this side. I like the door handles. Just a button underneath here.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Let's get in. Check it out.
Fingerprints all over it.
As a British person, I feel compelled to criticise this American car's interior build quality, because after all, they can't put things together properly over there because they don't have a...
It doesn't look as plastic as I was
forgiven them for
anticipating.
in Boston. If I'm being honest, it's actually really good in here. Lots of metallic bits like the covers for the stereo speakers, shiny bits on here, nice metallic stuff here.
It's not as plastic inside as I was expecting.
I do actually really like it, and I like the design.
It looks really nice.
Well, People say that in sports cars you feel cocooned. In this you really do. I mean, this big central tunnel, the way everything's wrapped around you, you do feel genuinely cocooned without it just being a
stitching doesn't line up. Oh no, you're right. Hold on, the stitching doesn't line up. There. There's a panel right here where the stitching doesn't line up. Well, that's annoying, isn't it? You won't be able to unsee that. Oh, yeah, that's... I mean, look. Look, I'll be honest. I'm not a massively picky person, but I can see why if you're paying $50,000 for a car, you would expect that not to happen.
This particular car is the range-topping LT3, so it adds stuff such as Alcantara headlining, leather on the dash, which is lovely, and these glorious...
So the one question I'd have is, if this is the top of the range, leather on the dash, what is the basic entry range? Would that just be a plastic dash? Is the reason this interior looks nice because it's the top of the range car, which you would pay, I don't know how much more for, but it's probably a lot.
Electrically adjustable sport seats. It's obviously very expensive, isn't it? Though, actually no, in America, $77,000, so £60,000. And this feels...
Whoa. So this one is $77,000, but he said the other one was $60,000, right? So $17,000 more for this version. That's quite a lot. Quite a lot for the top of the range. Was it 62k? Okay, so 62k. So, and he said what, 70? So 15-ish thousand more for this version.
More expensive inside than a £60,000 car. I like the fact that when you're sat in these seats, getting nice and low, you still get a good view out because the dash is low. I love these little vents. Look, really thin vents. Is there any...
Hold on. I hate to go back to the stitching. Okay, I hate to go back to the stitching, but does that look really wobbly to anyone? That stitching is like some sort of roller coaster. I mean, you'd expect it to be straight, wouldn't you?
Little vents, look. Really thin vents. Is there only one thing I don't know?
It doesn't match up on the left either. I'm sorry to go back. Here, you could see it on the left of your screen. It doesn't match up on the panel on the driver's side. It's nowhere near. Oh, no. No quality control on those stitches, is there?
Little vents, look. Really thin vents. There's only one thing I don't like. And it's this. The buttons for the climate control down here. It's just a bit odd. Now, I'm all for
I agree. That's a bit
for your climate control,
weird.
so you can press it dead easy when you're driving. However, the screen on this car is so close to you that you could easily have it in the touchscreen and just prod it like that, just as easily. In fact, easier than going like that and trying to find the right button. In fact, this infotainment system is
look, I'll never buy a car for 60,000 in my life, so this is out of my range anyway.
You've got digital driver's display as well, which looks good, has plenty of menus. It's nice. It's hard to fault this car. Maybe I can find something wrong with its cubby spaces. So let's go through those. Well, there's a mobile phone charging slot here, and the range-stopping car gets wireless charging. Underneath here, if you don't have wireless charging, is just one USB socket. Oh no, there's a USB-C as well. There's some cup holders under here, where there's room for your drinks. My only query
Which then
is,
blocks
are
the
they big enough
buttons.
for those huge,
Not
big,
ideal.
bladder buster drinks that you get in America? I'm sure they've tested those out. What about the door bins? No, they can't even fit a bottle this size.
Who even fits anything in their door bins these
Glove
days?
box. That's better though. Look, plenty of room in that. All good. Well done, Corvette. What about load luggage capacity? Right, I bet we're going to fail here. Oh, look, this is how you open the door. You press this button here. Now, I'm not going to do the usual motoring journalist joke of going to the... I was going to say, I wasn't going to do the joke where I pretend to go to the back of the car where the boot is, because it's not there. But the cameraman, Lewis, made that error. And that was genuine. No, I've made an error. I forgot to open the boot before I come here.
You've got to open the boot from inside the car, of course. I mean, it's a bonnet, right. So I guess that makes sense.
Luggage capacity. Please don't expect much. Here it is, your front boot, also known as your fruit, or if you're in America, your front.
It's a sports car though, isn't it? I mean,
is
this what you expect? I suppose you do.
Much in there. I suppose it does have some things that you can hang stuff off, and there's also a socket, plus an emergency release in case somebody bundles you into the front boot and you need to get out. Who's getting
stuck in that?
So I don't know how you'd fit a human in there, unless you've chopped them up into lots of different pieces. And then they wouldn't be able to press that button anyway.
Emergency release is like if you've accidentally put a child in there? Something?
But there is, because actually there is a boot at that.
Oh, there is a boot.
I double bluffed you, Lewis. I double bluffed you.
There is a boot.
I forgot to open it again.
Oh,
God. Really? No, he's not. He's not.
Wait for it.
I'm stupid, though.
You can't get the boot.
I tried to open it from the spoiler. I'm a professional car journalist, I am. I know lots about them and how to operate them all. So there's a lot more space now when you combine the two compartments, front
more room
and
there.
back. You've got 357 litres, which is more than you get in something like an R8 or a Porsche 911, and even more than in the boot in an AMG GT. Now, you know I told you that this car had a removable roof panel. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to go topless. I'm not going to take
you can turn it essentially into a convertible.
I unclip this bit. And then I unclip this bit. I'm not used to manual labour, me.
It's a Tonka car.
And then I do my best to lift it without dropping it.
Oh God, I wouldn't want to lift this out.
Do not drop it. It's carbon fibre, Matthew. Oh God, this is heavy. Oh, it's not.
You literally turn it into a convertible.
Away from my body. I'm not that weak. Right.
Does it fit in the boot?
Come on. Then you gingerly put it in there because it's going to be expensive to replace. I've got to ship one all the way from America. Try and find the locating lugs. Yes.
Oh, it actually does fit directly in the boot.
In there. But now you really do have a lot less luggage space. And that brings on to 5 annoying things about the new Corvette.
Well
if your battery dies and you can't open the doors because they have an electrically operated catch, don't worry because there is a manual override. And when you're on the outside of the car, you can open the car using a key up in there. That's elegant. What's not so elegant, though, is the one for if you're inside the car, because the releases are these big pieces of plastic, which just look a bit horrible in the footwell. In Europe, we need a front number plate, and so there's this plinth that fits onto the front of the car. It looks horrible, really, doesn't it? Now, in some places in America, they don't need a front number plate, and that is replaced by this panel here, which is more angular and jagged and will just look better. In fact, here's a cutaway of what it would look like without that there.
Yeah, it does look a bit better without it, doesn't it?
The door mirrors aren't actually the same length. It's weird. Maybe if you're American, you can tell me in the comments below why that might be.
Hold on. I would never have noticed that if he didn't say. The left, so the driver's side mirror is a lot closer. Is that because of the distance you are to it? I need an American to tell me. The driver's mirror is a lot shorter than the passenger mirror. Quite a way as well. Like, that's not a small amount, is it? I mean, there's no logic to that. It's no car I've ever seen in the UK. I don't understand why that would be a thing. Quality control issues?
The 12-volt socket inside the cabin is hidden away under here. Yeah, it's there. Why? Why is it there? The Corvette is an absolute bargain in America. Not so much here though. You see, after you've factored in shipping costs, import duties, tax, and all that kind of stuff, it pretty much doubles the price. This one here, with all the options on it, top of the range, £132,000. Now for that, you can get a really nice Porsche 911 Carrera 4S fully kitted out. In fact, if you want to see my review of such a car, click on the
lot, isn't it?
There to go watch it now.
Considering how much it costs normally.
There's still plenty to like about this car. Here's the car wow 5 core features. This car gets loads of standard equipment. For instance, it's got a heads-up display and lots of cameras to help you see around the car for parking and stuff like that, which is great. And if you're worried about being able to see in that rear view mirror out that tiny back window, look.
To be clear, to be absolutely clear, just so there's no confusion here, it's only 132,000 because of import tax. If this car was sold by an actual dealership in the UK, it would be like 50,000. You know, in America, this car's $70,000, which in the UK is about 60,000. But when you're importing a car that isn't sold in your country, you pay so much tax and import fees on it that it basically renders the whole process pointless. It really, really does. Why would you pay double for this car? If you've got the money to pay that, you would be getting a car worth that amount, surely. This doesn't make sense.
There's a camera feed as well, so you can always see behind you. The fruit tub and the boot tub, plus parts of the dash, are made out of a lightweight fiberglass material called float. And it's named that because it's so light that it floats on water. It all helps keep the weight down on this car. In fact, it weighs just over 1.5 tonnes, which isn't too bad, really. You can get a nose lift for this car, and it raises the car by 40 millimetres at the front in just 2.8 seconds. It's very quick. And you can operate it while you're driving at speeds of up to 24 miles an hour. You can actually link it to the satellite navigation system, and it will remember 1,000 different locations. So as you're driving along, it will automatically lift the nose, or as you're pulling.
Now that's impressive. So it will remember when you've lifted it for, say, a speed bump near your house, and it'll just do it every time.
This glass screen is actually cantilevered, so you get this gap here, and it allows hot air to vent from the engine bay.
And water get in there, though.
The boot has soft close. The car has a feature called Performance Data Recorder, which is really cool. When you're on track, you can use it to time your lap. But better than that, you also use the forward-facing camera to record your lap as you're going round.
Cool. I like that.
And you can change the graphics that you have on there, and then you can save it on an SD card and then upload it to your computer. When you're on the road, you can actually switch that over to a dash cam, so if you have an accident, you can use it in a court of law. Finally, we come to the reason why we're all here. It's this mid-mounted 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8, which is
I want to hear what it sounds like
here, and surrounded by some carbon fibre. So this drives the rear wheels, and it puts out 490 horsepower and 630 newton meters of torque. However, this particular car is fitted with the Z51 pack, which gives you better cooling and a freer flowing exhaust, and that increases the power to 495 horsepower and 637 newton meters of torque. It also means that you get an even nicer sound from the exhaust. So let's hear it. Go on, start it up.
Go on then.
Stop. To do 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds.
0 to 60, 2.9.
My specialist timing gear here. Gonna launch it. Let's do it. Gently away. Now it's going. Or 63.6 seconds.
That's not 2.9, is it?
What's the quarter mile?
I hope this is a closed road.
11.8 seconds. Thought it would go quicker. Kind of the opposite to the German cars, which seem to be
didn't get a great start though, did he?
And overperform. Let's try it again.
He didn't get a great launch.
Come on.
Very sluggish off the line, actually.
What are we going to get? Oh, can't see my seatbelt. I can't see. I can't see what it is.
No, that's
okay. We got 0 to
quite
60
a difference.
in 3.6.
7/10 of a second.
And the quarter mile in 11.7.
3/4 of a second
you know
difference.
What? I have got the traction control still on a bit. I'm going to try it with it off.
Yeah,
right,
it's possible the traction control's kicking off.
And this is your lot, Americans, all right?
That was a better start.
No excuses. That was a good.
It's not by much though.
Got a good time.
3.5. say?
Okay, that's it now. The best I got. This is for just when you're cruising along. It's actually really nice. You see, this car has the optional adaptive dampers fitted to it, so it goes over bumps really well because in tour mode they slacken off, they relax. I'm cruising around with the roof down. It's quite nice. The only problem is you get quite a bit of buffeting here. With the roof up though, it's absolutely fine. The engine is barely ticking over. At 70 miles an hour, we're doing 1500 RPM. The economy's not great though, because all I've done is thrash it. 3 miles per gallon.
To be fair though, if you're buying this car in America for the price, it would be a very good sports car, wouldn't it? It's not economical to buy this car in the UK unless they release it properly via dealers. But if you were buying this car in America, I mean, I could see it would be, you know, a very good car.
So then, what's my final verdict on the new Corvette Stingray? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon if you live in America, just go right ahead and buy it. It's an absolute bargain. Here in the UK, though, you should just consider it.
At 132,000, I won't be considering it. But I think if you're in America, it seems like a good deal.